I was burned out, struggling financially, and so lost when human design found me. I had a 6-month-old baby in my arms, and I didn't understand why I was doing everything everybody was telling me I had to do in order to see success in my life, and I still wasn't seeing any results. And one night, desperately looking for answers, absolutely tired and exhausted, I listened to a podcast where they talked about human design and what it meant to be a projector. And I had no idea what human design is, and I had absolutely no idea what being a projector is, but I was like, that's exactly what I am, and everything in my life suddenly made sense. Human design has had such an incredibly positive effect on my life, and I know that it can be that for you as well. In this video, I'm gonna break down the 4 steps that I took to see actual magic and miracles happening in my life thanks to the human design system. Let's dig deep. Welcome to the Human Design Portal, your safe space to decondition so that you can align with the right people, opportunities, and chances in your life. If you're new here, my name is Maika Gabriela, and I'm a human design reader, a deconditioning expert, and the founder of the Transformational Human Design Certification. And I can't wait to support you in actually not only understanding human design intellectually, but really giving you tools, tips, and tricks so that you can embody your energetic authenticity to have an incredible, fulfilling life. Let's get into it. You guys, the secret's out. Once a year, I throw a life event that has the potential to change your life. Are You the Chosen One is my 3-day free human design training where you will connect to your soul's true purpose and your divine light. Click in the description box below to claim your spot, and I can't wait to see you there. Our subconscious needs to see to believe. So before I go on to share with you the 4 tangible tips that can help you actually use human design to have a miraculous effect in your life, I want to share with you a little bit of my own story on how human design found me and how it got me to this place right now, right here. After I discovered that I actually was a projector in my human design and everything made sense, I was so hungry for knowledge. I tried to get my hands on books. I started Googling stuff, but everything I saw was really hard to decode in like terms of language and understanding what it actually meant. And 6 years ago when I started my human design journey, there wasn't as much information as there is now. And everything was incredibly ugly, like Windows 95, that really blocked me to have access to wanting to learn more. And so it took me a couple of years, and I was trying to show human design to my friends, and I would always feel stuck because there were pieces and bits of information missing. And I just was so hungry to understand the system and the mystery of the body graph deeper that I really focused on learning from a couple of sources that felt solid to me. And so in 2020, I finished my human design training, and a week after the pandemic hit. And at the time, I had, a small toddler that wasn't in childcare, so I was like hustling, having side gigs as a creative director, as an art director, being the podcast host for a big music festival, and I was trying to make ends meet. And so when the pandemic hit, we were closed off from the world. We were not allowed to leave the house. All the jobs got canceled or postponed, and nobody knew what was happening. And I honestly just felt this deep need of wanting to contribute and help and support. It felt like even though we were zero connected, we were collectively going through something together, and I wanted to be there. I wanted to be of service. And so I kind of felt that I was kicked out of the spiritual closet by the universe, being like, girl, you gotta show up. And so very shy. You can actually go to the highlights of my Instagram and you can see me like my first stories that I made in human design. It's hilarious. So very shy, I started talking about the things that I had been learning about, that I had been interested in, that nobody knew. I was doing pain work and inner child work and subconscious reprogramming. And I started sharing about psychology that I was deeply invested in. I think becoming a mom really made me want to remove patterns and not repeat generational trauma, or at least do my best to prevent it, at my best capacity. And so as I was trying to uncover and discover myself, I really was on this journey, and I started to share this journey on my Instagram. And at the time I had only 1,000 followers, and nobody was into spiritual stuff. It was all people from the fashion industry, because I used to work in fashion. I had a sustainable underwear brand. And so I was a little bit scared. People thinking, you know, she's cuckoo, like what's going on? What's this? But it was incredible, because I started sharing things on psychology, and the feedback was incredible. And when I started sharing things on human design, people resonated so deeply. And I was so afraid that people would judge me. And then somebody from my school reached out that I hadn't talked to in like 20 years. And they were like, oh, I so feel you. And I'm like, wow, this is insane. And so I did a couple of free readings for my friends to gain practice, to gain confidence. And then out of the blue, I had somebody who was like, oh, I'd love to have a human design reading. And I don't think I even had a website at the time. The first year and a half, all my appointments were set via pen and my, you know, expansive moleskin diary, and everything was going through DM and Instagram. And so that first reading that I gave, I charged the girl 50 euro. And I promise you, the best 50 euro I've ever made in my entire life. The fact that I was able to make money from something that feels so incredibly good, where I feel of service, that I'm so deeply passionate about, absolutely changed my perspective of what kind of life was possible for me. And so after that, I just started growing organically. I started raising my prices. I never felt that I had imposter syndrome, because I think I took things very slow. And then out of pure chance, somebody invited me on a podcast. And it wasn't even like a big podcast. My Instagram in the beginning was in Spanish language, because I grew up in Spain. Then it was like German, English. Now it's English. So I really started slowly, not having my direction clear, which is just such a testament to just start. Perfectionism is one of the things that is always going to hold you back. And you can always course correct as you move along. And so once that podcast got released, I started being booked out a month in advance, and I've never looked back. And so not only did it allow me to be in my purpose, but the moment that I started aligning with my human design, the moment that I really found my purpose, and my purpose not being that far off thing, but my purpose just accepting my authentic self and sharing who I've come to be and my gifts with the world and the people in my life, it allowed my autoimmune disease to go into remission. My body weight suddenly stabilized at my dream weight. And my relationships improved, because I suddenly didn't take things so personally, and I saw people for who they were. I had tools to support people better. My relationship with my daughter got better, more calm, more stable, more nourished, more energized. And it absolutely changed my worldview. And it wasn't even that my life changed so drastically, but it's been that the way that I see and feel and experience my life, that is 1,000,000 times better than anything that I could have ever dreamed of. And I really believe wholeheartedly that this is possible for you as well. So the first thing that I want to share with you is something that I haven't even learned so long ago, and I wasn't even noticing that I was doing in the beginning, but that is the cellular activation. So the cellular activation is this magical thing that happens when we receive oral transmission, meaning when we get a human design reading, when you're watching videos on human design, you can go listen to my podcast. The moment that you receive the human design information orally, the human design language carries a certain frequency that is made to activate your dormant DNA to start your deconditioning process. So there is actual, real, incredible, magical things happening in your cells when you're watching these videos. So really, getting into the rabbit hole of allowing human design information to kind of wash over you, re-listen the videos. And I'm not just saying this for my own benefit, okay? I recommend you find like 3 sources in human design that you feel trustworthy, that your soul aligns with, that are not doomsday, that are not scary, that are empowering, with whom you really connect, but mostly my YouTube channel. And just really, use this information as a way to rewire your subconscious patterns, to create new neural pathways that allow you to really start creating this beautiful conversation with your inner world that allows you to show up as your most energetic, authentic version of self. If you can, obviously, getting a human design reading can be incredibly beneficial because it is tailored to your unique design in a very personalized way, and you can ask questions and all of the things, but you're also hanging in the energetic field of the person that you decide to have a reading with. And so it's not only the actual information that is getting channeled, but it's actually that your frequency field gets elevated or gets matched by the person you're hanging out with. So the mentors that I've worked with are always mentors that really inspire me on a whole level, not only on their work, but on a personal integrity value level, because I want to feel how it feels like to have that energy. So that's how I operate. But cellular activation, listening to the human design information, really allows the information to settle. And if you've watched your video on your specific energy type, I am sure that there has been a point after watching that video that you started to look at life from an energetic perspective. Like if you're a projector, suddenly you're like, oh, this is an invitation. I hadn't noticed. Oh, like maybe if you're a generator, manifesting generator, you're like, oh my God, I can feel my sacral responding. This is a hell yes. Like we start understanding what's happening with our body. We get a bigger awareness, and this helps us navigate through life in alignment. The next thing is going to be embodiment. And I'm incredibly passionate about this aspect of human design because I think it is the least talked about. I think it is the thing that gets skipped over a lot because it's not algorithm friendly. As a 3/5 in my profile, it is all about living stuff out. It is all about having the actual experience. And so a lot of people come to me and they want to know more about, like the profile number of the gate that is in this unconscious design. And I'm like, listen, but are you waiting for the invitation? Like if we haven't actually seen the magic of human design impact our life, it means we haven't mastered the basics, which is the energy type with its strategy, its not self-theme, and its signature. And I'm gonna I feel like this is the thing that I'm gonna be hammering into anybody who will listen to me, which is really your energy type is the base. And only when that is covered, only when you are not intellectualizing it, not when you know it, it doesn't matter how many Instagram posts you're saving and liking, you need to live out your energy type before all of the other gifts can flourish and bloom. And so really understanding how to step into that energetic version of self. And that requires bravery. That requires courage, because we can understand that things logically make sense and we can see them from a distance, but it's very different to actually be like, oh yeah, I'm a projector. I'm only supposed to work 3 hours a day. That sounds easy. It sounds easy, but do it, right? How are we going to work 3 hours a day and still be able to have success and make money, which is the signature? It sounds counterproductive, right? So it requires building this trust muscle with the universe. The same for generators and manifesting generators when they get told oh, you just have to do what you love. And they're like, that sounds easy, but start actually doing it. Our subconscious is so wired to a safety and our need for belonging and love that we have been so trained to sacrifice our inner voice, so trained to sacrifice our own truth in order to be loved and accepted, that it feels very scary to step out of that. It is not really dangerous for us because we're adults who are self-sufficient, and being able to step into that authentic version of self will actually create trust, will actually create confidence and that knowledge that no matter what happens, I can stand up for myself and I'll manage to take care of myself. But it is still a very scary thing to do. The impact that it will have in your life to start living authentically is going to be not short of miracles. I truly believe now, looking back, when I heard that I was a projector in human design, the moment that I dropped that self-hatred, the moment that I dropped that constant chatter in my mind that was I'm not worthy, God doesn't love me, I will never have the life that I want, there must be something wrong with me, I must be broken. That constant negative self-talk that I was having looping in in my mind absolutely broke me. I really believe that part of the autoimmune disease was this kind of subconscious constant belief that I had about my unworthiness. And once I realized that actually failure in my life was not against me, but it was actually created for me, that the hurdles, the obstacles, the pain were actually divinely created for me to understand that I should stop walking onto a path that's not my purpose, so I could find my actual purpose, which is sitting here and sharing this information with you guys. That was life-changing. The third step that I want to share with you is something that can feel also very scary, but again, there's no gain without pain. So the third step that I think is really important that I continue to implement is uncovering my shadow aspects. And so a shadow aspect is a part of your authentic self that you are afraid to show to the world, that you are afraid to be caught with this aspect of self because you need to reject it in order to feel accepted and loved by your surroundings. So my belief is that we've come whole into this world, our soul knowing exactly what experiences, what chances, what opportunities are made for us. And we have this beautiful aura that knows exactly how to attract the right people and opportunities and chances. But through growing up, we've built this conditioning around us. And this conditioning is kind of like a slime that is sitting on top of our aura. And so this conditioning comes from when we were little and we showed our whole authentic self. But that authentic self was rejected and punished physically or emotionally. We had to separate ourselves from our whole authentic self. We had to kind of put parts of our whole authentic self underneath the carpet in order to feel safe and accepted by our environment and our caretakers. And when that happens, we really have what in psychology we call the lost self. We lose a part of our whole authentic self. When we lose a part of our whole authentic self, we start feeling that emptiness inside. And that emptiness inside is what is trying to look for, success in our work, what is trying to figure out through intense but toxic relationships, through material things, trying to numb or fill the void inside. And so the shadow aspects are really parts of our authentic self that when we start integrating them, we start being able to show who we truly are. And that creates magnetism, because nothing holds more power over us than the things that we are scared other people know about us. And when we own them and we're like, yeah, this is what it is. All of us have an authentic experience of life. And it's all absolutely unique. And we need to understand that, we are not able to choose where we are born, to whom we're born, the circumstances with which we're born, and they're all part of our own personal experience and our consciousness wanting to be expressed. And we try to suppress parts of that authentic self because we are ashamed. And we are ashamed because we think that these parts of ourselves make us unlovable. But it is actually that when we accept these parts of ourselves and we share them with other people, that other people deeply connect to that shame and that fear of not being loved and that vulnerability of sharing it with people, and that creates connection, that creates magnetism. And so there's certain shadow aspects that we can relate to each energy type. And for example, a shadow side of the projector is going to the fear of people believing you are lazy. Or if you're a male projector, that you don't have the competence to initiate because energetically you actually don't. That doesn't make you good or worse. It is just a reality of your experience in this lifetime. The manifesting generator's shadow is going to be like, I never finish anything. Or I want to do 1,000 things and nobody will take me seriously because I can't decide what I'm meant to be doing, right? And it's just a reframe. That is your purpose. There's nothing wrong with you. You have come to be this expansive person that will show us how to make 1,000 things work together and how to juggle 10 projects at a time. That's inspiring, that's empowering. It's not that you don't know what you want, it's that you just have a different way of experiencing life. And so once you start integrating your shadow and you share the things that you are feeling shameful about, the things that you don't want people to know, the things that you fear other people will judge you for with your friends, with your family, on social media, that is when you will notice the biggest impact on people coming to you, reaching out to you, connecting to you, because there is such deep understanding of what that sense is that we're constantly hiding from the world, when really oftentimes the thing that we're hiding from the world is the thing that will allow us to connect most to other people. And you see this a lot in celebrities. The celebrities that we really resonate with, the celebrities that we really like, they have something that is really authentic about them. And what is authentic about them is that their shit, is that they own where they come from, what they're doing, who they are, right? And that's what allows us to connect to them. And the last step I want to share with you today is the importance of changing your internal landscape. And so a lot of times we hope that when we do X, Y, and Z, when we achieve this thing and this other thing, then I will feel differently. But that's really not how it works. You can run away from your heartache and try to catch flights, not feelings, but you will be in a different country still heartbroken about whatever is happening at home. And so we cannot escape our internal landscape. We need to really tend to our inner garden. Look at her being poetic. But we need to attend to our inner garden and really build something beautiful inside so that the outside changes. And for me, the most important thing that if you're going through something in life where you are not where you want to be and you are not who you want to be, the only thing you can do is start showing up at the person you want to be. It doesn't matter. You have to know who you want to be and then start taking the steps to embody that person. And so the number one thing for this is creating something that changes your internal landscape. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to get the point across. And this is either meditating, doing some kind of practice that allows you to change the way that your brain chemistry works, breathwork, yoga, Kundalini yoga. I started doing Kundalini yoga, specifically the Kriya abundance meditation, when I started with my human design business in 2020, and it was life-changing. And I don't do it at the moment because right now I'm focusing on going to the gym. I'm focusing on building my body. I'm focusing on creating dopamine. I'm focusing on running and weight training because I had a whole personality set around how much I hate going to the gym and how much I hate running. And now it's my favorite thing that I do in the day. Why? Because I do that in the morning and then I have clear, focused energy to do the other thing that I love doing in my life, which is trying to make human design as easy as possible, digestible for all of you. And so you need to find something in your life. I don't care if it's a hot girl walk. I don't care if you want to become a Pilates mom. I don't know if you want to be like a biohacking bro. Like, I do not care what you do, but you need to find one practice in your life to which you commit to. And if you're undisciplined and if you're non-consistent, it doesn't have to be every day, every hour, same time, same place, okay? Be spontaneous, be funny, be interesting, make it in a way that entertains you, okay? But if you want something to change in your life, you gotta change your internal state. And the only way you're gonna change your internal state is by committing, doing something. It will also ask you to move out of your comfort zone. It will also ask you to show up when you really don't want to. And again, that creates character, that creates strength, that allows you to deal with whatever life will throw at you because you have that inner confidence and certainty that you're able to do stuff that you don't want to do and that you're able to figure out stuff that you don't know how to do, right? And this is just a small thing in your life, like practicing meditation, breathwork, yoga, going to the gym, running, any sports you want to do. Find something that allows you to change your internal state and watch the magic in your life happen, how your perspective of the world suddenly will transform. If human design speaks to you, if the way that I share the information is of value to you, then I invite you to join me on the 3-day live event I am hosting called Are You the Chosen One? It's going to be 3 amazing evenings where I will touch upon different subjects in human design so that you can receive the cellular activation. We will have unblocking meditations and it will be an incredible, beautiful, uplifting experiences. I do this once a year and every year I'm just mind blown by the beautiful transformation and miraculous healing that we see happening in those days. So if you want to join, there's a link below in the description box to reserve your spot. Thank you so much for being here. If this video was of value to you, please share with anybody that could use this information. Like this video, you don't know how much it means to me. Subscribe to the channel. I am eternally grateful for the beautiful feedback I'm receiving. My projector heart feels so recognized by all of you beautiful people watching these videos, and I can't believe how incredible, beautiful it is to see that what I'm sharing is of value. So thank you so much for your time, and remember, I don't care what anybody says, I love you.